In the summer of 1989, Nicolae Ceausescu found himself the target of an intense campaign of black propaganda launched from Budapest. The accusations were grave and calculated to stir both domestic unrest and international concern. 3 charges dominated the narrative: that Ceausescu was secretly pursuing the manufacture of a nuclear weapon, that he harbored plans to launch an attack against Hungary, and, most inflammatory of all, that his regime was carrying out a systematic genocide against the Hungarian minority in Romania. What did Ceausescu do that he was painted as a dangerous autocrat on the brink of unleashing a catastrophe? In 1984, Nicolae Ceausescu gave an interview to the BBC in which he confidently stated that Romania's industrial and technological development had reached a level where, if we wanted to build a nuclear weapon, we could do it. The remark, bold as it was, barely raised an eyebrow on the international stage at the time. But a few years later, in August 1988, Ceausescu met with Károly Gross, the General Secretary of the Hungarian Socialist Workers' Party, in the city of Arad. During that meeting, Ceausescu reportedly reiterated Romania's capabilities, telling the Hungarian delegation that the country was capable of producing anything, including nuclear devices. This revelation did not surface immediately. It wasn't until 1989, in a charged political climate, that the information was made public by Matthias Suros, then president of the Hungarian parliament and a participant in the 1988 Arad talks. On April 14, 1989, Nicolae Ceausescu delivered a speech in Bucharest where he declared, "We can manufacture any type of equipment. There is, however, one field we choose not to engage in: nuclear weapons. Yes, we have the technological capability, but we do not wish to pursue it because we are firmly opposed to nuclear arms whose use would mean the destruction of life on this planet." It was this very statement that set off the entire circus. In the final stretch of the communist regime, Hungary launched a well-coordinated propaganda campaign portraying Nicolae Ceausescu's Romania as a regional threat with nuclear ambitions. The escalation began on November 15, 1988, when Matthias Suros, president of the Hungarian parliament, publicly disclosed Ceausescu's 1988 statement in Arad, claiming Romania could produce nuclear devices, an announcement quickly amplified by Reuters. On May 8, 1989, Der Spiegel published an article alleging that Romania intended to build medium-range missiles for nuclear use based on West German designs. Then, on June 14, 1989, Imre Pozgai, a member of the political bureau in Budapest, gave an interview to the Italian newspaper La Stampa, in which he stated that Hungary was reconsidering its security strategy and would redeploy its troops from the Austrian border to the Romanian border. In the same issue, Csaba Tabajdi, then deputy head of the International Relations Department of the Hungarian Central Committee, claimed that Romania was preparing to develop a nuclear weapon and intended to purchase medium-range missiles. He further reinforced Pozgai's statement regarding the planned deployment of Hungarian troops to the Romanian border. The tension deepened on July 10th when Hungarian Foreign Minister Gyula Horn held a press conference in Budapest during which he emphasized 3 key points. High-ranking Romanian officials had announced the country's capability to produce nuclear weapons. Romania would soon begin manufacturing medium-range missiles, and Romania had threatened Hungary's territorial security. The news was reported in English by MTI, Hungary's national news agency. On July 11, 1989, the New York Times published an article titled "Hungary Cites Military Threat from Romania," written by Henry Kam. On July 14th, the Italian newspaper La Repubblica published an interview by journalist Andrea Tarquini with Hungarian Foreign Minister Gyula Horn. In the article, Tarquini reported that Romania had ordered Condor medium-range missiles from Argentina. During the interview, Gyula Horn stated that a military confrontation between Romania and Hungary was out of the question, but acknowledged that Romania's decisions were causing rising tensions. 2 days later, on July 16th, the president of the Hungarian parliament, Matthias Suros, gave an interview to the Romanian section of Radio Free Europe, in which he said that Nicolae Ceausescu's statement about nuclear weapons sounded like a kind of blackmail. Suros was also saddened by the fact that Romanians had occupied Budapest twice in the past. The sources involved in the Hungarian propaganda against Ceausescu in the summer of 1989 include prominent Hungarian political figures and publications. Let's recap them. Matthias Suros, the president of the Hungarian parliament; Gyula Horn, the Hungarian Minister of Foreign Affairs; Imre Pozsgai, a member of the Hungarian Political Bureau; Csaba Tabajdi, the deputy head of the Department of International Relations of the Central Committee of Budapest. The tabloid-style publications that circulated the Hungarian accusations in the summer of 1989 included the Reuters news agency, the German magazine Der Spiegel, the Italian newspapers La Stampa and La Repubblica, and the American daily The New York Times. This is a minimal timeline of Hungarian propaganda against Ceausescu. An extensive research into the international press of 1989 would prove that many more publications reported on the topic of Romania's nuclear weapons and military aggression towards Hungary. In conclusion, in the summer of 1989, there was Hungarian propaganda directed against Romania based on the distortion of statements made by Nicolae Ceausescu.